going on, everybody? It's Geoff Grammer with the Albuquerque Journal, and you are watching the Albuquerque Journal live pregame show from Laramie, Wyoming. I did make it Arena Auditorium here in Laramie for tonight's UNM Lobos 12-3, 4-0 in Mountain West play game against the Wyoming Cowboys, 9-6 and 2-2 in Mountain West play. And I guess the big news to start off is let me make sure. Hold on one second before I get into breaking down the news of the game here. Got one other click to do here. I apologize. So, big news, I guess, so far for tonight's game is, first of all, the Lobos are missing one player. Ibrahim Asako did not travel. He is sick. Deep bench player, has not played much in recent games anyway, so it shouldn't affect too much, but there you have it for the Lobos. Ibrahim Asako is probably or is missing tonight. So a little bit, I guess, a little knock to the depth, if you will, of the Lobos. And then the Mountain West. All right, guys, I think I'm back on. I'm trying to set my audio back up here on the second game in a row that's done this. So now I got some more troubleshooting to do on this wonderful world of pregame shows that I'm doing now. So anyway, the big news for the Lobos is they're missing one player, but for Wyoming, their second leading scorer in the Mountain West, leading scorer for Wyoming at over 18 points a game, is warming up tonight. Obi, I think he did not play against Air Force on Saturday. Wyoming pulled off a close one. Sundance Wicks, the new head coach, first-year head coach of the Cowboys, is expecting, I guess. It sounds like a player decision at this point. Sam up the ankle hurts him. I expect him to play. He's been going through warm-ups, putting up all the shots. So I'm expecting him to play, but we shall see. Sundance Wicks, for those that don't know, the first-year Wyoming coach, has some New Mexico ties. He coached at AAU ball and kind of club level. Former Lobos Connor McDougal, who played for 1 year, but then 4-year Lobo Dane Kuiper, who's very close to Sundance in his high school years out of Arizona, and Sundance thinks and speaks very, very highly of Dane, and the good connection there. And I talked with Sundance a little bit over the last 24 hours before this game, and he was just excited that somebody was covering. From the out-of-town media was covering the game. It is tough sometimes for all the out-of-town media to get up to Laramie. So he was excited to hear that we're covering for this one. Big game in Arena Auditorium tonight. It's a Wyoming team that had you asked me before the season, would this be a tight game? I probably would have said probably not. It's a depleted roster. He got hired so late in the process that the transfer portal had already been completed, but he's already exceeded that. If you ask me, he's exceeded expectations in my mind to this point. Just in that he's competitive, and not just competitive, he's winning games too. They're not just losing closely. They knocked off Nevada here, and they picked up some wins. They were in a one-possession game against Utah State. This isn't just a team playing hard for their coach and get pats on the back for that. They're actually competitive, and they're going to win some more games too. And the Lobos better be careful because it could be tonight. The Cowboys, especially if Obi's back, is certainly a scorer that can give them a bucket whenever they need one. And getting some questions here now from you guys, and let's see here. Well, I'll tell you what, Steve, when I was driving over from my hotel here in beautiful Laramie, my car said -3, and then it said 0, and then it said 2. So I guess it was warming up a little bit. My phone app says it is now 8 degrees here in beautiful Paradise, and I am back. The audio, telling you, I don't know what I did this time, but the audio is. I did something again that apparently the audio was messed up. It said it wasn't plugged in. Like I said, it unplugged. No, it wasn't unplugged, but I don't know what power situation we got going on where it's not now reading. It's not now reading it going into the feed. So I don't know if that will change anything there. Anyway, back on this. Gotta go Lobos from Ivan on X. Got a Mabamba from Ivan on X. Always game for Mabamba reference. What else we got? Okay, there the audio says it's back on fully now. I was flying around trying to connect some cords. They're all connected now, but I don't quite understand what was going on there. So hopefully this will work. We'll see. Give it another try. What's the temperature right now is 8 degrees outside, and luckily they're playing inside tonight, so they won't have to worry about it. Eric on YouTube was asking the same. How cold is it up there tonight, and how are you enjoying Laramie? I love Laramie. I love the drive up here every time too, and it's a beautiful drive. Today I did the Cheyenne drive. I did ask people how the weather was coming in, and kind of took their word for it to avoid 287. Some people avoid it altogether now, no matter what. I often do the 287 drive, but it wasn't today. It was not in the cards today, so I went ahead and took the Cheyenne drive. And the Cheyenne drive was beautiful too, and the roads were great. It was getting windy a little bit outside of. I can flip that on. Yeah, that's fine. No, I don't need that one. And so yeah, the Cheyenne drive was great. It was getting windy a little bit. The roads were dry though. The interstates, Cheyenne over to Laramie was just perfect. So it was a good drive. They did get like 5 inches of snow last night, and nobody here seems too affected by it. Albuquerque would not be the same right now. Audio is back. I think it is. We can hear you now. I'm hoping. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You guys can hear me, but GPAC Lobos asking Nelly still on cloud 9, higher than 7165. It's getting bad, guys. I don't know what's going on with the score here, but I'm just on the computer mic now, so this mic, I don't know if it's working anymore. I can hear you in these headphones, but I will just be talking to the computer microphone while this is giving me problems. Nelly's still on cloud 9, higher than 7165 elevation. Yeah, the 7,200 feet that they proudly boast here, 7,220, the highest fort in the land, is the highest elevation in Division I basketball. And yeah, Nelly is still on cloud 9. Loving what's going on since he hit that game winner on Friday night against Nevada. Yeah, the far away sounding Dre, I can't entirely tell you what's going on because we got the usual device right here set up exactly as it normally is. It is telling me it is working. The screen here is telling me it is not working, and you guys are telling me it's not working. So I am trying to kind of lean into my laptop a little bit, and hopefully you guys can hear me through the laptop mic. So apologies for that. It's happened now a couple times, and I just obviously got to figure it out. So if the Lobos are hot tonight, contrary to our freezing weather today in Albuquerque, yeah, I don't feel too bad for John. your freezing weather in Albuquerque today isn't the weather in Laramie today. So we'll see. Audio's a little better now, way better audio. Thomas said good. It's kind of going back and forth. It's weird, man. I don't know what's going on with this audio. So, Eric's telling us that Laramie is traditionally a really hard place to play, especially when it's cold. I love that drive too. Wyoming's a great state. We need to get a win. It's hard to look ahead to San Diego State. Some people believe in the term trap game or not. Sometimes it's just a game to lose, and it's easy enough to call a trap game after the fact. If there is a such thing as a trap game, this would be it, right? You're playing an emotional 1,000th game in the pit on Friday night. You get the game winner in overtime and the buzzer, a true buzzer beater in the 1,000th Lobo game played in the pit. Happens to be against that team that has two former Lobo coaches and Alfred and Neal. You come off an emotional game, and the next game is an emotional game in that it's a CBS game on Saturday morning against San Diego State in the pit, where it sold out last year. Then the same game did morning tip on CBS against the team with the most championships in Mountain West history. So if there was ever a trap game, it would be the game in between those two on the road in 8-degree temperatures in Laramie, Wyoming. This probably would qualify, but I don't think the Lobos are as susceptible to that as they would have been had they not already embarrassed themselves with the New Mexico State loss. I think their attention. Casino has their attention now. I think they have their own attention. They're not going to let that happen again because they know what they already did. They may have already cost themselves. If you look at every computer ranking, including the net, they've already cost themselves a good 15, 20 points because of that loss. If you give them another 15 points, you're not talking about a Lobo team in the 60s. You're talking about a Lobo team maybe in the 40s or so. And it's a whole lot different kind of feeling around where they are in terms of reputation and nationally and all that kind of stuff. But they are 4-0 in the league. They've already won on the road a couple times, not against the top of the tier of the league, but they did knock off Nevada. They do have a away from the pit win against USC and away from the pit win against UCLA. They have some good little resume bubble. I don't want to say bubble. Some resume points, I guess, and feathers in the cap to point to. But they also have one horrible loss, and they weren't blowing bad teams out like they should. If you want to get the computer rankings moving up, in fact, a lot of people were frustrated that they beat Nevada and actually dropped the spot in the net. That's because they're supposed to beat Nevada by 5. Ken Palm had them beating Nevada by 3, and they end up winning by 1. When that happens, the computers aren't going to reward you because the computers aren't just looking for wins and losses. I know that doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute for a lot of people, but the reality is the computers want to see efficiency. They want to see a good team that's supposed to beat a lesser team by X amount of points. They want to see it happen, and the Lobos just haven't been doing that. They have 3 really bad examples of it where they kind of, even in wins, they kind of let the score get closer than it should have been, and that's why their computer ranking is what it is right now. Most notable is when they were up 20 against USC, put in their deep bench, just emptied the bench, and 20-point lead went down to single digits in just a few minutes, and then they ended up winning by 10. But you win that game by 10 or win that game by 20 against a Big Ten school in USC, or you win it by 10, and like they did, the computers do 2 very different things, and didn't really give the Lobos a whole lot of love for that win like you could have. You did the same thing against Colorado State. You did a road win against Colorado State by 17. They wwere up 17 with a minute 37 to go, and then they just kind of quit playing. The Lobos did. Colorado State did not. They hit 2 3-pointers and got a 2-point play, and they scored 9 points over a 60-second span, and end up losing the game by 8. The game was never in question, but a 17-point win turned into an 8-point win on the road. The computers just didn't really reflect dominant win as that game was most of the time. So that's what the Lobos are looking at now. They're now kind of in the mindset of, okay, we can't play with our food that much. If we're better than a team, we have to show that. We have to get the point spread up to where it is. We have to play efficiently throughout. We got to close out games. I think the Lobos are going to win tonight. I actually think it should be a comfortable win, but a lot of wild things happen here. Sunday's the guy that's going to have this Wyoming team playing their hardest all the time. So there is the trap, all the makings for a trap, I suppose. But I do think the Lobos' attention was already got once they blew it against New Mexico State a few years ago. David Parks, worst venue in the Mountain West, San Jose or Wyoming? It ain't Wyoming. I mean, you can put up whatever one, but there's nothing wrong with this venue. The fact that it's a low populated place, the fact that it's a cold place. I mean, if you want to complain about that, that's fine. But the arena's just fine. The fans that show up are just fine. This is one of my favorite places. I disagree with you there. I love the Laramie trip every year. I know there are some fan bases and some teams in this league that vocally complain about Laramie a lot and talk about how it's unfair to even have to play them at elevation. You're not getting that from me. So Laramie is a very cool place to come play basketball, cover basketball games, and I'm lucky that I get to do it. So I'm a fan of covering games here in Laramie. David, big picture, what record in conference do the Lobos need to get in that large? That's a good question. They win this, they're already a 5-0. They lose the Big 4. I'm thinking out loud here a little bit, but I suppose my answer would be you're adding 2 games from last year's schedule. The first place was 16. No, it's probably 3. It was first place last year. First place in the Mountain West Conference last year when it was an 18-game schedule, and there were 6 very good teams at the at-large level. First place was 14. This year there'll be more wins, the higher percentage wins. There's only probably, I think it's 2 teams that'll get in. I would say 3 before it go down to 1, but it won't be 6 like last year. It'll be 5. I don't see any way it'll be 4. But I see it as the 2 or 3 bid leagues this year, and I'd say to get one of those at-large berths, one of those teams will obviously get in because it's about this tournament. Where you're asking about what the record needs to be if you get that large. I would say probably at least 16 wins. 16-4, I think could do it, depending on who those 4 losses are against. If the 4 losses are against teams that aren't going to hurt your net and RPI, I think you're fine. Basically, your losses better be, if you want an at-large berth, your only losses in this league better be against Utah State, New Mexico, San Diego State. Those 3 teams right now separate themselves a little bit. Boise State not far off. Nevada, despite their record, their computer rankings have them not far off. So, and it better be on the road. Certainly help because your computer rankings aren't going to go down as far if you lose on the road. So I would say 16-4 could still be in the realm. 15-5 is probably right at the moment, and then it depends who else you beat, right? Who those 15 wins are against. So I think a 15-5 Mountain West team is about the bottom. I would say could get in that large first, and then it depends on who those 15 wins are against. Any further insight why Sacco did not make it? Injury-related, grades, discipline? He is sick. That's all I was told. He is sick. So I don't know what the ailment is, but Sacco is sick. How is true? Looks fine to me. He has not been unhealthy for 3 games now. So I know people have asked a couple times how he is physically. Patino has sworn up and down there's nothing physically wrong with True for several games. So I think he's fine. I don't know any different. If there's something else going on with him, it's not something I'm aware of. I can tell you the prediction on KenPom right now. KenPom.com. It's in his magic computers. He has UNM Lobos 79, Wyoming Cowboys 73. So KenPom has this at the 6-point New Mexico win. The Vegas odds have this as New Mexico favored by 7.5. I think those numbers are right. I wouldn't be shocked to see them get up to maybe a 10-point Lobo win. If it's beyond that, I'd be really shocked. So I'd say anywhere between 5 to 10 point Lobo win is probably what I would expect. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Wyoming put up a fight and really give the UNM team some fits if in case, if in fact everything I said earlier about them not susceptible to a trap game, maybe like they would have been had they not already had an NSU loss. If I'm wrong about all that, then sure enough, this game could be pretty close. And Wyoming, the underdog, when you're playing close games against much better teams, you start rallying there late, and it could get ugly close down the stretch of this game. Stanley Romero on YouTube. They will go low, stay hot. See what else we got here. A couple other questions. Of the net profits are used to support charitable and educational. I did miss one earlier. 16-4 will be hard. It means protecting the win, stealing 1 or 2 on the road. Yes, I agree. In an 18-game schedule, they've already. If you count, just kind of count the 20-game schedule and shoot for the same record as you shoot for last year for an 18-game schedule. Again, remember the top 6 in the Mountain West last year all made the Mountain West tournament. UNM being the lowest of those 13 that the Mountain West or that had to win the Mountain West tournament to get in, and they were 10-8 last year. So to get to 15 wins or 16 wins this year, you're not only in the running for league title, but I do think that'll be good enough for at large consideration. You got to remember, this year's team has something that this year's league has something that last year's league didn't. While San Jose State and Air Force were pretty bad last year, then they won 2 games, and then you got Fresno State at 4 wins. I really see the bottom of this league is a bit lower than the bottom was last year. I see the middle as a lot lower than the middle was last year. And then the top is 16 top, like it was last year. You can even go 17 top last year because UNLV finished 4th. It did not make the NCAA tournament. So I think that I think the Lobos are in a position where they're in the league now. Mountain West is in the league this year that 2 or 3 teams are going to be in contention. But man, they're just not going to get the computer help that they got a year ago because non-conference wasn't stellar for Lobos play tough defense, they win. Go Lobos. Yeah. I mean, their calling card is not defense, though. Their calling card is offense. They're top 10 scoring team in the country. They're the number 1 team by a lot, scoring in the Mountain West. So, yes, if they play tough defense, they would win. But the reason they're good is because of their offense. So, I know sometimes people like to say, "Oh, just play the defense." Sometimes it's okay just to be good at what you're good at, and they're good at scoring. It's not like top 10 in the country good at scoring. So, yeah. I mean, we can say they need to do a lot of things here: rebound, defense, offense. I think the number 1 thing New Mexico needs to do every single game is they better bring that offense with them every game because their defense isn't showing up every game. Their rebounding isn't showing up every game, but their offense has. So go ahead and take your best weapon and make sure it's with you all the time, and then hope the other things kind of catch up too. Never been to Wyoming. What's the go-to entree for you there? Depends on how much time I have. Today I got here at about an hour at the hotel to take a quick shower and get over here to cover the game. And as you guys saw, I was still pretty late getting the pregame show on. So today there was no eating. I ate the In-N-Out burger on the way out of Denver. After when I got in on a delayed flight, Denver, they drove 2.5 hours north. A little bit of weather, but not too bad. The go-to entree, whatever is open after this game tonight. That'll be my go-to entree tonight. My prediction for tonight is I did pick. Well, let me check. Let me make sure I did. I posted my graphics again. I think so. Let me make sure. Grammer's guesses tonight. For those that don't know, for about 10 years now, I've been picking every Mountain West game against the point spread with my 5-year-old daughter, who's no longer a 5-year-old daughter. She's now my 15-year-old daughter. And she beats me. She flips a coin. I use my expertise and traveling, seeing all these teams, and talking to coaches, and my supreme intellect and basketball knowledge to pick games. And she flips a coin. Right now, the record through 20 Mountain West games is Grammer's guesses. That's me picking games against the spread. I'm 8-12. And tonight, this game, I did pick UNM to win by 7.5 or more. My daughter's coin flip picks are 14-6. We'll be making you a lot of money in Vegas if you were to follow her picks and put some money down on the sports book. She's 14-6, and in this game, she has Wyoming keeping it within 7.5. So remember, for those that don't know, the point spread is such that it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It matters that the number by them. In this case, Wyoming plus 7.5. Then in this case, plus 7.5 to their score. They have named the starters and OB, the second leading scorer in the Mountain West, and leading scorer for Wyoming is not the starting lineup. You guys know who's playing?
I don't know if he's not starting.
It's not starting. So it's not the starting lineup. I couldn't tell you if that means he's playing or not, and I don't think any of us up here at Press Row can tell you for sure. But he's not in the starting lineup. Take that for whatever it's worth. And then as far as the Lobos go, their usual starting lineup: Donovan Dent, 60-point guard, who is the only player in the country right now, averaging 19 points and 7 assists, having a pretty good year. As Richard Pitino would tell you, can still be better. Like he's had moments that could have been better. So you're averaging 19 and 7, and your head coach is kind of saying he can be better. It's interesting. Like Donovan's been playing really good, but I would agree. Like there are moments that you get games that you look back on and say, "Man, Donovan might have been able to do a little more there." There are times that I think Donovan has been really smart about not pressing and doing too much. There have been a few other times that maybe Donovan has done a little too much. But overall, Donovan's been playing smart this year. I really like the intellect he plays with. It's obvious he scores at 19 points a game. You get that in college basketball, you're doing something right. 7 assists, you're doing something right from that too. So anyway, Lobo starting lineup. As I said, Donovan Dent at the point guard, 6'2" point guard. True Washington at the 2. He's a 6'4" guard. I think he could be the True Washington started such gangbusters earlier this year defensively that I think he can get back to better defense, a little more defensive intensity. He was stealing the ball at 2 or 3 times a game for about the first 6-7 games. Just frankly hasn't stolen the ball much lately. So I think he is getting a little frustrated at times, and you'll see it on the court. And so he's due a breakout game probably at some point. Just a really good defensive game. Filip Borovićin, the Serbian, transfer from Arizona, 6'9" wing. He's a guard. He's as Coach Pitino, Richard Pitino will tell you, he's not a forward. He is a 6'9" guard playing that wing spot. He's been playing solid, not great. He's kind of still in every other game where he has a good game and then I don't want to say a disappear game, but his low games are not as low as they were earlier in the year. His high games are still pretty good, but he's kind of alternating them, right? I'd like to see him put 2 or 3 games together in a row where he plays pretty well, rather than alternating like he has been. Mustafa Amsil, the 6'9" forward, who is the second leading scorer on this team, is starting the power at the 4 spot for the Lobos. And of course, Nelly Jr. Joseph, the 6'10" player of the week, Mountain West player of the week yesterday for having 2 double-doubles last week on the road to win at Fresno State, at home against Nevada, the 20-10 game. You also remember had 7 blocks in those 2 games. He had 4 against Fresno State, he had 3 against Nevada, and of course the game-winning shot at the buzzer. And those 2 double-doubles he had are the 49th and 50th of his college career. So Nelly's starting to come on a little bit in a way that I think bodes well for the Lobos. I think if they have Donovan at the point and Nelly at the center, if you're 1 and you're 5 and playing as well as those 2 can play, the Lobos could be pretty dangerous. So Greg Lujan joining us now, saying what's the temp? 8 degrees when I started the show, and as I wrap it up right now, I will tell you, just looking at my trust phone app, Laramie, 8 degrees, mostly clear, high of 18 today, low of 4. Winter weather advisory. These conditions are expected until 8 a.m. tomorrow. So that's good. I don't think they're getting any snow tonight, so that's good. Because you're stuck with me getting back to Albuquerque tomorrow. After this snow did. John is saying Amzil never met a shot he didn't like. Some truth to that. His shot sometimes, poor shot selection at times, I would say. I would also say it's the second leading scorer on this team. There was stretches in November, December that somebody needed to because Donovan was the only guy putting up shots and making shots. And without Mustafa Amzil, this team is not 12-3 right now. This team is probably not 4-0 in league play. The bad, I have a lot of people complaining to me about Mustafa Amzil. I would hope those same people can acknowledge that the strides Mustafa Amzil has made from last year to this year, he is a valuable part of this team. Doesn't mean he doesn't take bad shots sometimes. It doesn't mean his shot selection can't get better and better get better. Mustafa Amzil is the second leading scorer on a team that's top 10 in the country in scoring, and they're not 12-3 without Mustafa Amzil. So there you go. Game time, 7 minutes from now, CBS Sports Network. Sorry for the late start tonight, and we will sign off here. Follow the coverage, of course, on social media, but also abqjournal.com/sports. Get you there a step quicker. I'll have a game story tonight. I'll have post-game video of interviews I have with the Tino and the player tonight, and then also tomorrow morning. Every morning after every regular season game, I try to post them the phone. And I will be back in Albuquerque tomorrow afternoon or evening, and we'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys.
Tradition and rivalry, passion and conversation.